transports, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome to episode 22 of the Transport Fever 2 USA themed series on the Northeast Corridor version 2.0 map that is available on the Steam Workshop. We're here in Boston, just outside of the passenger station that we have, with the few little items of decoration thrown up just to tie it together just a little bit. And if you'll just ignore the horrendous state of the fence there, because that is absolutely hideous, but from a distance it isn't too bad, so we'll just have to pretend that it's all fine. And today's plan is to work on our passenger line. Now, previously in episode 21 we did unlock the Pioneer Zephyr, and it would be nice to have that incorporated onto the map as a form of express train. So what we're going to do today is the stations along the Amtrak Northeast, we are going to either have an extra platform for the express service to call into, or we're going to bypass these stations entirely for the smaller towns that we have on the route, so that the express train can pass straight on through without any inconveniences caused by any trains that may be loading or disembarking their passengers at the time. So if we bring up the user interface, we can make a start straight away. So at Boston we're going to put another platform in. So let's start with that, and we're going to use the high-speed tracks for this service. And I think we'll even have a slightly longer platform here as well, just because some of the later express trains, they are quite long, and we want to make sure we have enough platform space for them straight off the bat without having to come back and revisit it in the future. So let's set this new platform up first of all. We're going to need some underpasses to allow access, so we'll put a few of those down. And I think, can we squeeze some more passenger buildings in here? We can't there, so we'll leave it as it is. It looks a bit off centre at the moment, as we can see, but that's fine. And let's start building us our express line. So what we're going to do, we're going to have it come straight out, because as we can see, if we snap to the track there, we do lose quite a bit of speed. So we want to give our express train every possible advantage and every possible chance to really utilise its potential. So we drop a bit here, but 177 isn't too bad at all. What do we have here? We have the Hiawatha, we have the Douglas DC-3, the Zurich, the Opel trucks, and the streamlined coaches as well. So the Hiawatha could be interesting. We could use that for the stopping service and utilise the Zephyr for the express service. So we may see the rail buses replaced in this episode as well. But for now, we really want to concentrate on getting the express line constructed. Now, what we're not going to do is have the entire thing double tracked. We will be sharing some of the existing rail that we use for the Northeast. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a crossing here, and then this is where the express line is going to rejoin the main passenger line, like so. If we can just locate the switch here, there it is. Alright, there we go, although they are not connected. So will we stop at Providence? I'm going to say we will not. So what we're going to do now is, even though we've just brought these lines together, is actually have them diverge. So let's get them across, and we're doing it like this because you can get higher speeds with this crossing. So there we go, we've got the express line back separated from the main passenger line. The express line now is on the right hand side of the tracks as we are looking at it, and that enables us to come through at the correct approach to bypass the station at Providence. And in fact what we'll do is we will actually have some tracks through here, and we'll utilise the station tracks as our bypass rather than putting manual tracks in. Then we do have possibilities to expand the Providence station outwards even further should we have any small local services in the future. However, we've come in at just the wrong angle there, as we can see. We were quite slow, 58 miles per hour, so we need to be considerably faster than that for an express service, and that's a lot better there. So now if we get all that joined together, we can then carry on past Providence. Let's just get rid of that road temporarily. Yes, we've just had to remove a few residences there, but it is what it is. It's all part of improving the network for them in the long run. I'm sure they'll be pleased. So now what we need to do is get these to come back together if we can, while still maintaining a decent speed. So let's see if we can do that, although that's quite slow there. That drops down to 96. However, looking at where we're headed, that's something we really do want to be. It's something we're going to have to live with, because we do want to stop in Kingston because it's a fairly populous town. So we're going to have to swallow the speed reduction there, which is unfortunate. But to get the ball rolling on this express line, it's a small price worth paying. Right, so what I'm thinking right now is we'll bring the express line back in to the main line, and again we'll have it as high a speed as we possibly can achieve. And then what we'll do is we'll have the express line utilise the existing platforms that we have at Providence, at Kingston I should say, and the new platforms that we end up building here will be used by the stopping service, the existing Amtrak Northeast service that we have available. So therefore we want to have our stopping service now leave the main line, so to speak. So the speed on this one is less crucial than it was for the express, so we don't mind if it's a little bit slow this junction. And then we want to put down a new platform here for the stopping service. Okay, so there's a new platform. I've done the roof and the underpass as well. So now what we can do is connect this in to here. So this is where the Amtrak is going to run. The stopping service is going to come onto these new platforms and then rejoin the main line like so. And again, because it's a stopping service and we're not as concerned by the speed, we don't mind if this is a little bit slow right here. So what we're going to do first of all is in Kingston we're going to swap these terminals from terminals 1 and 2 to terminals 3 and 4. Like that. So now it comes through here, you see. What we can also do is just put a couple of one-way signals here. That way our trains can wait up here, which should keep this free for the express service. So now we continue onwards, and I think for now we shall share most of this. But as we approach New London, we do want to have it depart the main line, because we are going to bypass New London with our express service. And I think we will bypass New Haven as well. In fact, our next stop will be New York City, so the remaining stations between here and New York are all going to be bypassed entirely. So let's get these lines separated once again then. And we're going to do it nice and fast again, so we keep as much speed as we possibly can. Oh, we have the PRR class GG1. Another train we might want to take a look at, but again, today's efforts and focus really is on getting this set up and running. So all these new unlocks, we may have to revisit them in a future episode, which is fine. Okay, there we go. There's our breakaway for the express. Now, how do we want to handle? We've got plenty of time to decide. Do we want to have a bypass platform here? Or do we want to just simply skirt around the city manually? We've used bypass platforms so far at Providence. What's the terrain like? Could we tunnel below and then re-emerge? In fact, could we have a completely separate express line? Because this is going to no doubt have some slowdown issues because of the curves. Whereas if we can keep ourselves reasonably straight, where are we? We're around about here. We could come straight down here, straight through here, with a gentle curve, straight through Stamford, and reconnect into here. So it might be a better option to do that and just have a complete new line put down. So let's try that. So rather than having it stick to our existing line, we'll just come straight past on our own separate high-speed line. So here comes the express line now, just straight on through, with no consideration given to the terrain, because our most important fact here is speed, rather than following the terrain as it undulates and rises and falls. Let's get rid of this road here as well. There we go. Right, so where are we going? So we need to curve left a little, and we want to do this with as much speed as possible. And we want to make sure we have the highest possible bridge speed here. Like that. And we want to carry on curving a little. And again, let's make sure we have the highest possible bridge speeds here. So we've got 186 all the way through. So now we can double track that. So we've gone as far as New Haven, completely bypassed New Haven as we said. And we want to carry on curving off to the left as we're looking at it, and we want to come through the middle of our passenger line and our cargo line just here. Ah, we had a slow bridge there. Let's just redo that bridge. So far so good with our speeds. We've not dropped a single unit of speed so far. And let's just again go through the bridges here, make sure we're using the high speed bridges. In fact, can that be earthworks? Yeah, sure, why not? That bridge was a little bit too long for my tastes. Especially when it's not going over any sort of river or ravine. Okay, so we're now getting close to New York City. So now we need to consider how we're going to bring it back in. So I think what we'll do is we'll have a line that comes directly off of the existing passenger line like this. So it goes a little bit slow there, 1, 2, 2, but it's nothing too drastic. And if we double that up, we now know where to aim with our express tracks. So where were we? Up to there. What's the speed? So again, maintaining full speed across this entire run. And there we go, that's now connected. We already have multiple platform options here in New York, so don't need to worry about that. And again, I think what we'll do is, to avoid unnecessary slowdown on here, even though we're going to be stopping anyway, we will move the existing Amtrak service onto platforms 3 and 4 here at New York. So you're going on to 3 and you are going on to 4, like that, and then that frees up 1 and 2 for the express service. And here we'll just share this track all the way down here. At Trenton we will bypass, because our next station we want to call into is Philadelphia. And how do we want to handle the bypass? We could dissect and surround Trenton like that if we come down here, or we could just come on straight through. We don't need those diamonds there, so we can get rid of those. And what we could do is, because we have the platforms already constructed here, we could just bring them into play like so. And as we did at New York, just move the platform assignments around. So platforms 1 and 2 would be used for bypass, and 3 and 4 would be used for the stopping service. So I think that's what we'll do here at Trenton. So let's just take care of that. So you're going on to 3 and you are going on to 4. There we go. So we are going to stop at Philadelphia, but we are not going to stop at Wilmington. So let's sort out Philadelphia. So we need the extra platforms. There we go. And again, we don't need these signals or this diamond because nothing turns around here. So let's get rid of those. And let's just get rid of that. That's only industry access, as is this one. So let's get rid of this as well. And again, much like we had done previously, the stopping service can have the slow platform on the outside, whereas the express service will be treated to platforms 1 and 2, where it's a lot straighter. So there we go. So that's going to annoy you, but we'll just send you on your way without any picking up at Philadelphia. Right, so now we come to Trenton, sorry, to Wilmington. And then we're going to be stopping at Baltimore and at Washington. So how are we going to bypass Wilmington? Well, I think what we'll do is we'll branch off and bypass Wilmington, because the track tends to curve in a little before curving back out. So we can just have our track run straight like that and bend in the opposite direction. So we'll have this run off like this if we can. There we go. So now we've separated, we can have this come straight past Wilmington. Any bridges there? Nope. And no reduction of speed either, so that's great. And you come alongside there. And now we want them to come back together. So let's try and get them parallel first of all with decent speed. There we go, no speed reduction there. And then you can come in alongside as well. Looks like we're doing... oh, missed that little bit there. That's better. So far so good. We should be nearly at Baltimore now. Not quite actually. We've got still a fair old distance to go. There's no speed reduction on this corner, so we'll keep all of this quad tracked, I think, just to keep the two services separate so they don't start catching up with one another and our express trains don't get slowed down by the stopping service along here. And well, yeah, I think we'll keep this separate now all the way into Washington DC. There are a few areas where we are sharing tracks, of course, so We've got a bit of a mixed bag on this one. Some areas of shared track, some areas of quad track. Either way, I think we'll be just fine. And if we go as far as there, and I think that should give us enough gap to be able to come into the new platform without any slowdown. So let's just test that. First of all, we need to put the new tracks and platform in position, and obviously cause mass confusion to the train driver who's in Baltimore at the moment. I'm not sure why he's getting confused, but we'll sort him out in just a moment. I think just a quick stop-go will allay his fears and concerns, whatever they may be. There we go. Stop-go did indeed work. Right, so let's see if we can get this in without any speed reduction. Yes, we can. Perfect. So at this station then, our express service will be using platform 3 and 4, because we're not slowing down at all, so everybody is happy. What do you mean you have no path? You do have a path. It's because you started to turn down there, and I'm not sure why you did that. Try that again. You don't need that there. Yeah, you confused yourself there. I'm not sure why you started to utilise the diamond, but we got it sorted in the end. So now what we're going to do is go through to the final station, which is of course Washington DC, which is not too far away at all. Ideally we'd want to get these to be parallel once again, so let's just put down a set of parallel tracks there, and then we can get them to come parallel, and shouldn't be any speed reduction there. No, there's not. There was just a difference in elevation which was causing them to stay separate from each other. As we can see, our express line is ever so slightly elevated, which I quite like the aesthetic of, so I'm pleased with that, even if it was completely unintentional. Regardless, we press on and we fast approach our final station of Washington DC. Here we are. And we're going to have to do something a little bit different here, because we have these station buildings along the side. So what we're going to have to do is something like this. How close are we? We're going to have a rather bizarre looking platform here. But it'll work, it'll work. It's all part of the same station still, so it just looks a little bit unusual the way it's laid out. But that's fine. I mean, we could just use one of the existing platforms, come to think of it. But let's see how this looks. If it's too slow... How's that? No, that's fine, because we're coming to a halt anyway. That's our terminus, so the slowdown isn't too much of a problem. And we need to get this to snap in here. And again, the speed isn't too much of a concern, because we're coming to a stop anyway. Right, there we go. So what I'll do now very quickly is put all the signals in on the new tracks that we've just constructed, and then we can get together and start setting up the new line. So I'll catch you again in a few moments. I'll of course edit all of this out for you so you don't have to watch the signal work being done, and we'll pick it back up once the signals are all completed. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back at Boston. The signals have been put in on the new express line. So now we can go ahead and actually construct the line and get it ready. Right, let's just make sure first of all we have access here from our access track, and now we do. It's a bit hideous, but whatever. Right, so now let's go for a new line. So you want to be on platform 1, yes. What colour shall we have this? Maybe like a pastel sort of bluey purple colour. And let's just make sure you're coming on the right tracks here. So you're going there. And we want you to come in here. Did we say you're bypassing Providence? Yes, we did. And then you are stopping here at platform 1. You're coming down here. You're going to bypass this station. So we routed to this track here, which is fine. And then we come into New York. And we want platform 2 there, yes. And then, yep. So this is... Are we stopping in Trenton? No, we are not. But what we want to do is make sure you actually come through here. Let's see if you're going to do that. In fact, if we go to the next station where we are stopping, Philadelphia, we will see if they're... Yep, you're bypassing. Perfect. So yes, you stop at Philly. And then you come out on these tracks here. And I think from here on out we are all double tracked and separated. Oh no, we don't want to be stopping there at Baltimore. You want to be on platform 4. And then into Washington, onto the new platform, yes. And then back. You're going back that way, yes, 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 yes. But you are stopping at Baltimore. And yep, you're using the correct platform there. You're on your express tracks, of course, so that's all fine. You are stopping at Philly. And yep, platform 1, that's fine. Bypassing through there. We are stopping at Grand Central. But you've picked the wrong platform there. That's better. Then you're coming back. Yep, you're taking your bypass, but we'll just use that signal as a waypoint just so you don't change your mind at any point. So straight through the bypass. You are stopping here. And you want to be on platform 2. Yes. Okay, see, you've decided to share the line there, which we don't want, so let's separate you. You're bypassing Providence, and then you're back into Boston. Perfect. So let's just name this new line, and this will be Amtrak Northeast Express. So now we can go ahead and purchase the train. So let's have a look. Buy vehicles, locomotives. So this is the fastest one we have, 110 miles per hour. The acceleration isn't great, but we don't stop at every single service, so that shouldn't be a problem. In fact, that's really bad. Could we get a faster one? I'm not sure. I don't think we have a fast loco. No, we don't. Our top speed loco is 99, so this we'll go for the Zephyr anyway. And we shall have 4 Zephyrs on here. Let's give them high maintenance. Give them the colour, although I don't think it changes much on those models. And assign them to the line. And what we'll do is I'll pause the date now. I'll go to 4 times game speed acceleration, and as soon as our first Zephyr arrives in Boston, we'll hop on board, and that will be our outro for this episode. So I'll catch you again in just a few moments time. And I'll also change that to RP. In fact, should we go RPX for Rail Passenger Express? Then that really does differentiate it from our stopping services. There we go. In fact, while we're here, is it worth, while we're waiting, seeing if we can get a Hiawatha running. So I think we'll go for the streamlined New Mexico. If we wanted to get a similar capacity, I don't think it's going to be as good. Let's have a look. It's not great, but it does look more like a mainline sort of train, doesn't it? Shall we do that anyway? Yeah, why the heck not? So let's just do a replace. We've got a train leaving, so we'll pause it now. So we'll replace all these, and this arguably is going to be less efficient, but it's going to be more fitting in terms of aesthetics. So I think we will do this. Replace for 150 million, just about. Colour them in, and yeah, we'll run with that. As I said, perhaps not the most efficient choice or logical choice, but it just looks better. Anyway, here we have our first Zephyr just about to leave. So as I said, we shall hop on board now and use this as a little outro. I'm not sure how far we'll go, but we shall see. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. A bit of a building one today. Relatively straightforward for the most part. But there we go. We now have our first dedicated express service on the map. And as we can see, we already have some passengers on here. 7 of 52. So that's intriguing to see. So yes, if you did enjoy, obviously there's the thumbs up button there down below to show your support, which is always greatly appreciated indeed. But for now, all that remains for me to say is, as always, ladies and gentlemen, you take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.